before even time began. My life was in his hand. And he knows my name. He knows my every thought. He sees each tear that falls. And he hears me when I call. I have a Father. He calls me his own. He'll never leave me, no matter where I go. He knows my name. Sing it. He knows my name. He knows my every thought. He sees each tear that falls, and he hears me when I call. He knows your name, and he knows your name. Yes, he does. He knows your every thought. He sees each tear that falls, and he hears you when you call. He hears you when you call. Oh, he hears you when you call. Yes, he does. He hears you when you call. He hears you when you call. We serve a God who's the God of the past. He knows where you've been. He's the God of the present. He knows right where you are today. And he is the God of the future. He holds your future in his hands. And you can trust him. He hasn't forgotten you. He hasn't forsaken you. He knows your name. Yes, he does. He knows your name. He knows your every thought. And he sees each tear that falls. And he hears you when you call. He knows your name.
He knows your name, he knows your name, he knows your name, and that is your heavenly Father. He knows your name, he knows each tear that drops, and he hears you when you call. Beautiful tune there to start our program with, and this is Fathers and Family. Fathers and Family on Z101.9 FM. My name is Pastor Gate, and every Sunday evening I come your way with discussion on fatherhood. And we thank God it's another Sunday, and so we can go straight to the point and deal with the subject. If you want to connect with us or contact us or in any form, we have a WhatsApp line. You can call when you have something to tell us, and we will visit it. So 0544 321019. 0544 321019. That is the WhatsApp line you can reach us on. You can also reach us on a main line 0303. That is 0303 956641. 0303 956641. You can also join us on X, Facebook, or Instagram on ZFMGH. ZFMGH. For YouTube, TikTok, you can join us on Z Multimedia. Z Multimedia. And with that, you can join us. You can be part of this program. My name is Pastor Gate, and the program is Fathers and Family on Z 101.9 FM. And as always, I have Emmanuel Kante helping us with the controls. Good. Last week, we looked at, or we started a session on functions of fatherhood or responsibilities of fathers. And we realized that such a topic is important because we have many fathers ignorant of some of these things. We also realize that many fathers are inconvenienced in what they do. They know, but their situation, their work, and stuff like that will not allow them to do all these things. And so we need to hammer it home. We also realize that some fathers are insensitive and they care only about themselves. And such fathers need to be reminded that they have brought some people into this world and they have a responsibility towards them. We also realize that many fathers suffer indecisiveness. They can't make up their minds. They don't know what to do. And sometimes you have situations where fathers may have problems with their wives, that is the mothers of the children, and so they make things, they let things affect the children. But last week we explained that there is a difference between being a husband and being a father. You are a husband because you have a wife, and you are a father because you have children. And these two roles are completely different. Your role as a husband should have nothing to do, should not interfere with your role as a father. So if you have challenges in your marriage, please don't let it affect your children. If you have challenges with your wife, and you have problem being a husband, and because of your wife and what have you, that does not mean you also have a problem being a father. And these two roles must be separate and taken up, because the children have not offended you. And in the case of your wife, you chose your wife. You made a conscious decision to choose your wife. And so if you want to fight with her, if you want to do whatever, I don't recommend that, but that is your business. But the children, they did not choose to be your children. You brought them into this world. And so you are their father. Of course, you might have made the choice, but for them, they are your children by chance, because they came in without their, and you brought them in without their permission, without their consent, and you became their father. So your responsibility towards them is non-negotiable. We also realize that some fathers are just irresponsible. Sheer irresponsibility, sheer wickedness and neglect. They know what to do, but they will still refuse it because of some of these things. So it's important that we hammer these lessons home for fathers to learn. And the first responsibility we learned as a father is to plan. Plan even before you become a father. And the planning involves three things. You should live for God. You should live for God. In other words, you are you become a project for God. God should work on you. Know where you are coming from, know why you are here on earth, and know where you are going. Sort these matters up with yourself before you decide to bring in a child into this world. If you do not know who you are, where you are coming from, or where you are going, you have no business bringing somebody else into this world to suffer the same fate. No, no, no. So number one, live for God. Number two, love a woman. Become a partner and get a wife. Be a husband before you become a father. If we turn it the other way around, we create problems not only for ourselves, but for the children we bring into this world. If I had my own way, I would suggest that every child must be glued to a father. And that father must also be glued to a wife. And I keep telling people, you don't invite me to your outdooring when you have not invited me to your marriage. Marry before you think of becoming a father. Look, there are too many children running around all over the place who of course, they were all brought into this world by some man somewhere, but they are still fatherless. We don't want that to happen. God created the family so that children could be raised as godly seeds to God. So, live for God, become a project for God, love a woman, become a partner, and number three, long for a child. That is when you can now become a parent. Desire, pray. I mean, so that the news of your wife's pregnancy will be like music in your ears. You would want to thank God. You would want to hug, and so on. And I have had that experience. I married a few years before, we had our first child. And when we had that first child, she passed on that very day. And we had to wait another 3 years. So for us, that child that came, was a big answer to prayer. And we celebrated her and on and on. The second one came, we were excited. And when we thought we were over and done with, the Lord gave us another one. And these are jewels to us. Beloved, if the news of your woman's pregnancy gets you angry, gets you mad, gets you arguing, then there is a problem. Believe you me, it will affect that child that will be born. And so, plan. Live for God. Plan. Love a woman. Plan. Long for a child. In your planning, become a project of God. Become a partner to your wife. And then you can become a parent to your child. Today, we want to move on and look at another responsibility or another function of fatherhood. And this time it is to provide. So you don't just plan. When the children come, you provide. Your first duty is planning. The second duty is providing. Providing. As far as the child is concerned, as far as any child is concerned, the father is everything to him or her. As a father, you are everything to your child. You are his source. As a matter of fact, the source of his life. You are his sustainer. You are his shelter. You are his security. You are the child's salvation. I mean, as far as your child is concerned, you are like God to your child. That is why, our heavenly, of course, Jesus referred to God as a heavenly Father. You are an earthly father. Your business is the same as your heavenly Father. Now, one of these days, we're going to look at Psalm 23, where David refers to God as his shepherd. And then we will see that the same expectation David placed on God as a shepherd is the expectation placed on you as a father. We will treat that as a topic. But today we want to look at providing for your child. Your children know only one thing, or the child knows only one thing, that my father is my provider, period. And they don't care who you are, they don't care what you do, they don't care where you are, they don't care whether you have it or not. The child looks up to you, the father, as the provider. And trust me, the expectation is not wrong. It is their right to expect that from you as a father, basically because you brought them into this world. Whether you took a conscious decision or the child came accidentally, you consciously did something, because the woman who had your child did not just drink pure water to be pregnant. Something took place. Something you were conscious of. And believe you me, every human being, every man knows that that act has the potential of bringing children into this world. It doesn't matter what time, what period of the month the woman is. It doesn't matter how old you are, and you would be surprised that women in their 50s can even get pregnant. So whatever you do in the bedroom, know that it has the potential of producing a child. So if you are not ready for a child, there are things you can do, so you don't waste anybody's time, so you don't destroy anybody's life. It looks like I'm being a bit harsh today, but let me apologize for that, and still insist that this is a non-negotiable duty of a father, that is to provide. Now, many fathers are aware of this, but what should they provide? That is it. In fact, even the Bible tells us in 1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 8 that if anyone does not provide for his own, and especially those of his household, he has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. For the other version says he's worse than an infidel. That is an unbeliever. So you have no business claiming that you are born again, you are a Christian, when you do not provide for the children, especially the ones in your household. Now, it is your responsibility to ensure the physical, the emotional, the financial, provision of the children you bring into this world. Now, let's talk about what the father should provide. For this program, I am grouping the things a father should provide into three categories. Three categories. The first is to provide what I call the essentials of life. As a father, you provide the essentials of life for the children. And I have listed 3 non-negotiable essentials. You don't use these as punishment. You don't use these, as as conditional things. I mean, look, these are unconditional provision. Just as we expect children, we expect from children unconditional obedience, we also expect from fathers unconditional provision. And the first group is the essentials of life. What do I mean? And the essentials of life, there are 6 things, 6 basic things that we should provide. I'm saying we because I am also a father. Number 1 is food. Food. Now, food, of course, when I say food, I'm talking about solid, liquid, food. What fills the tummy. This is what sustains physical life. And because it's a natural need, a natural demand, when you deny a child of food, he will still have to go look for food. So he will either have to go to a neighbor's house either to beg and so on, or he may want to go to a shop to steal. Why? Because as for the body does not know a father, or does not know that the father can't do it, and the body will make demands, and the child's body will have to respond. So, food. And of course, depending on the man's ability or his financial standing, the food will range from very basic provisions to the luxury. If you want to take your children to special restaurants, what have you, that is up to you. But at least the little they will eat to fill their tummy, you should. Believe me, when the former President Kufuor decided to introduce school feeding, I was one of the people who were skeptical, as a matter of fact, not in favor. Though I didn't oppose the idea, I just didn't like it. Because why should I bring a child into this world and let somebody else put food in the child for me? I mean, that is my basic responsibility. If I cannot feed my child, and let's not deceive ourselves. It is nowhere written that the food should be 3 square meals. I don't know why 3, and I don't even know why we call it square when it is 3. But it's an expression, so let's accept it. That a child should eat morning, afternoon, evening. No, a child should eat food. So if it is morning and evening, provide it. Provide it. Definitely once a day may not the body may not take it, may not be able to handle that. And so if it is twice, if you can make it 3 times, if you can even make it 4 times, and intersperse it with you know, some desserts and other stuff. That's it. But it is your responsibility to make sure that the child is fed or that the child does not go hungry. The reason we have so many street children is that they are hungry. They are hungry. Nobody is providing for them, and so they are out there. And believe you me, they are an eyesore. Sometimes you want to sympathize with the children in the street, but sometimes they are also a nuisance. And what do? I have always said that if we can, and very soon it will be a campaign I will start, that all these children, since all these children in the street have fathers, I'm not talking about just parents, they have fathers. We should look for their fathers. And the way to do this, let's pick them up. Let's arrest them. Let's arrest them. But not harm them. Take them somewhere. Invite their mothers. Because as for mothers, they are always attached to them. And the mothers, some mothers even know that their children are there in the streets. Invite their mothers. And let the mothers show us where the fathers are. You know, even if they are not married to them, the fathers are somewhere and they must be brought to book. It is the fathers we need to hold responsible and accountable. So number one, provide essential needs, the essentials of life. And the essentials of life include food. Don't let your child go hungry. Otherwise, he will beg, he will steal, he will do everything to fill and fulfill those hunger pangs that are natural. Number two, or the second essential need a father should provide is shelter. Shelter. Every father, in fact, before you even decide to be a father, you should have a place where the child can grow. And I'm not talking about every father owning a house or owning a mansion. I mean, there are people who waste our ears with how many houses they have built. I mean, if you have 10, 20 houses that you don't live in, you don't come in and brag to us, please. But there are others who may not even afford one, but at least a decent one bedroom, self-contained, or whatever that you can stay with your wife and raise the child in. I mean, of course, for what you do with the woman, you don't even need a house. There are men who are not ashamed to do it anywhere, and there are women who are not ashamed who will receive it anywhere, from the park to some corners, and in the beer bar, discos, what have you. Some may even use hotels, and so that's your business. But once a child comes in, that child should live in a place he can call home. Rent a place. It doesn't have to be too luxurious, but at least good enough for a child to go home and have a place to sleep at night. It is very, very important where a child is protected, where a child is not exposed to the elements, the weather and so on, not exposed to insects, mosquitoes, and bed bugs and stuff like that, that will harm the child. As part of providing security for the child needs a place to sleep. And this is a non-negotiable responsibility. Provide it, rent it, hire it, build it, whatever. Number 3, the child needs clothing. So he needs to stay out of hunger. He needs to stay in a place where he is sheltered. And the child you bring to this world must also be clothed. Thank God for mothers. Remember those days when we were in school, you go and play football, your uniform will get torn. And when you come home, your mother will just pick the needle and stitch it up for you so you wear it the next day without any problem. Your child should be clothed. Well, if you can afford the luxurious whatever from ready-made designer clothes for your children, that is a different story. If you cannot afford that, and then you can pick one from a local shop, or even go to Bend Down Boutique or visit Cantamanto and get something good for your child, as long as the child is unashamedly covered. And believe me, any new dress, it doesn't matter where you bought it, as long as it is new to the child is happy. Can you imagine a child going to school with torn uniform? I mean, other children can be very ruthless, merciless, and tease him. That will affect the child's confidence. It will affect the child's school performance and all that. You don't put a child in a situation where the child will now become a victim of the weather. When it's cold, your child is shivering because he doesn't even have a sweater. It's basic. It's basic. Food, shelter, and clothing. Another basic non-negotiable provision for a child is education. Education. Well, thankfully, we have, is it a United Nations arrangement for the F-Cube? You know, free, compulsory, universal education, basic education. Give the child the basic education, the basic arithmetic, reading, writing. The basic. The basic. And if you have a child in Ghana, it's even easier now, because if you're able to handle, I mean, the F-Cube, yes, but if you're able to handle the child to SS is free, and some other areas are also free. So you have no reason to keep your child home. And when we talk about the child, we're talking about the male child and the girl child. No child should be disadvantaged because of their gender. And under no circumstance should a child of school-going age stay at home. And when I say this, one of the things we should start crusading on is these children who have to lead their blind senior relatives or big relatives in traffic to beg. Sorry, there is misfortune somewhere. Somebody is blind, somebody needs to be catered for. Of course, if they want to beg, that is fine. But if you want somebody to lead that adult in the streets to beg, it should be another adult. In the first place, letting their children lead them endangers their own lives. But if the child is of school going age, that should not be the child's business. And this I will appeal to government and to the social welfare when they see a child leading a blind relative in the traffic to beg, and the child is of school going age and is not in school, that family would have to be dealt with. Where is the father of that child? Why should my child, who is well, able-bodied, lead, unfortunately, a disabled adult relative in the streets to go and beg for money? Yes, sometimes when they do, they give some to the children. The children are able to buy some food, though they may also come from that poor family. But that is no excuse to keep that child out of school. Education is important. The child must learn to read, to write, and to and to work some arithmetic, and to be able to speak, to be able to socialize, and to build the child's own future. At least the basic education must not be denied a child. So, Father, it is your responsibility. If you want to take that child to a luxurious school, we call them international school, we want to start them off with the UK curriculum. You want to start them off with a Montessori curriculum. That is up to you. If you can afford it, that's fine. But some of these are also provided by the government, the local schools. I mean, we call them Saito. I went to Saito. Go to Cape Coast, Kwejagre Primary School. It's there. That's where I went. I went to Agri Middle School, then ended up in SDA Middle School, somewhere in Bekwai, before going to secondary school. It's Saito throughout. But this Saito boy was able to manage himself, rise through the ranks, to even become a dean of a faculty at a university. And that is it. So the Saito thing also works. I mean, and many of my mates who were with me at the only college in Ghana, that is at the Saddle College. Don't argue with me about that one. I am speaking and I am in the studio. So we went to at the Saddle College. The college. Okay. Before my Kwabucho friends start firing salvos, let me leave it there. But you see, most of my colleagues were from Saito, but we went, of course, to the best secondary school. And that has shaped us to who we are. These days, there are several secondary schools, and I permit you to attend any of them. Though I would suggest you go to Adesada College, but you can go to the others. And they are receiving free education there. Don't deny your child. The Saito is not a curse. Encourage your child, even at that place, to learn. And they will equally make it. So, food, shelter, clothing, education. 4 basic essentials, non-negotiable provisions. The 5th is medication. Once a child is born into this world, you know that the environment, the food, what goes into them, the food and everything, will even make them sick. The mosquito, children get sick, adults get sick. But you should provide the remedy for the sickness. The hospitals, go for tests, do whatever, but by all means, provide medication. Don't sit in your home and send somebody to go and buy medicine for your sick child. Take that child to hospital. If you do, and please don't, you don't have money, because we have health insurance. The premium, listen, the premium we pay for health insurance is woefully low. Very little for the entire year. And when your child is sick, that child can go to to any hospital, or a hospital that accepts the insurance for free. Now, these are things we have not really exploited. So you have a child who falls sick, and now you are going about looking for money, asking your neighbors. That money you use to buy credit for your phone. Now, the money you use to buy, fried rice, can pay for 1 year's subscription for your child's health insurance. 1 year. So no parent can have an excuse. The transport money you use to go to a funeral can pay for your child's health insurance for 1 year. That single trip. So if you do not go for the funeral, send a message and use that money for, that is only one time. Only one time. Miss the funeral only one time, and use the transport money to pay for your child's health insurance. So anything happens to the child, you can take the child to the hospital. If nothing happens to the child, thank God, your little contribution would save another person's child. But by all means, let's work towards getting our children the medication they need. Father, it is your first responsibility to make sure that the child you've brought into this world is healthy and is not dying anytime soon. As a matter of fact, your child should outgrow you and bury you. You give birth to the child, and the child should see you off. No, and I think I have prayed this prayer for parents, that no parent should bury, and God help us, that no parent buries their children. So provide medication. And finally, in that same light, before we take a short commercial break, is it commercial? No, it's just a rest, because we don't have the commercials coming in yet. But before we take that short break, the next thing is entertainment. Oh yeah, provide entertainment for your child. What do I mean by entertainment? Toys. Anything a child can play with. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. You can buy your child toys ranging from these miniature Land Cruisers that are sold in the supermarket. Some are going for 6,000, 10,000. You can buy one for your child. But you know what? You can also create something for your child. Buying your child some football, some doll may not be too expensive. And you see, for the child, one of the things that even amuse them is when they have created it themselves. So you can, I mean, those days we would take just a sheet of paper and build a ship or build aeroplane from a sheet of paper, cut it, fold it, and then you throw it in, and the child is so excited. You don't need to be too expensive in the toys. I mean, look, even an old lorry tie, a car tie, can be a source of energetic entertainment for he pushes it about, and the child is running, sweating, and all that, which is good for them. I remember those days we could even make cars out of milk tins, and when a child is involved in the creation of that play toy, it's exciting. Parents, look, one thing about children is that they don't stick to one toy for long. You can buy the most expensive thing for them. They play with it 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. Maximum 1 week, they are fed up, they want something else. And they may want another child's inferior toy because that is new for them. So don't spend all the money on one huge thing. Spread it. Get something today, another thing, but by all means, make sure your children have something to play with. Forget the iPad and the video games. Those things even make the children docile. But get them into some activity. Sometimes you can even join them, play with them. We'll talk about playing with them soon. Buy some football for them. You know, I remember when we were young, children who owned football, and my dad made sure that I owned one every time. I didn't know how to play very much, but you take your ball to the pitch, and you are the match commissioner, the referee, the linesman, the timekeeper, the coach. Because you own the ball, you decide who should come into your team. And you pick the good ones that we know, and then your team. Look, you can even, if you have your own ball, you can be the VAR? You can decide, no, I mean, it's a clean goal, but you can say, no goal. And they cannot argue. Can you imagine the sort of confidence the child grows up with just because the father bought him a football, the father bought him a toy that he plays with, and the other children can come around. The father buys him a bicycle, he hits up, and then those days you want to ride somebody's bicycle, he will tell you, let me give you a knock. And we understood it was all children's play. They give you a knock and then you ride it. And don't go very far, just turn yourself here, and then you are happy. But for the child who owns it, he is confident and develops a leadership aptitude right from the beginning. So buy your children toys, some form of entertainment. Yes, we know these days you let them learn, but all learning and no entertainment will make them some way. They will be socially skewed. So get them the toys and let them play with. So these are 6 essential needs that your children need: food, shelter, clothing, education, medication, and entertainment. Let's take a short break, and a very short break, and when we come back, we will deal with the rest.
Z 101.9 FM.
It's your lifestyle, leisure, and business radio.
We're going again. Anywhere you are, He's a holy God. Come on, as the band prophesy, can you lift up your voice and just echo worship to the King of Glory? Ayikobolo sikabrata memoria. Sanikondolobo sabakurie. Antakurasi kayata. Elohim, we reverence you tonight. Let him hear your voice. Ishokomandalata. He's in this room. He's in this room. Hey! To the Father of Spirits, the Holy One of Israel. Ichiataka Heledina Ile, Hauseleke, anywhere he went. Every spirit bow to the Father of Spirits, the Holy One of Israel. Come on, let him hear your voice. Higher. Now that you are here, sickness disappear.
101.9
Like that
FM. Z 101.9 FM.
Welcome back. This is Z101.9, and the program is Fathers and Family. My name is Pastor Gate, and we are looking at functions or responsibilities of fathers. And this is the second in that series. We first looked at the responsibility of planning, and now we are looking at the responsibility of providing. And we said that we need to provide the number one, the essentials of life, and these essentials include food, shelter, clothing, education, medication, and entertainment. Good. The next thing, number two, is emotional support. Children need, number one, essential needs as outlined, and number two, they need emotional support. That emotional support must even come while the child is in the womb of the mother. When the child is yet unborn, the father's love and care will make a healthy child. Your responsibility starts right from there. And so, I mean, it's part of the things we'll be talking about, how to father the unborn child. We will look at that. But that's where your responsibility for that child begins. Of course, we know it begins with the planning. But right in the womb, you should be there for the child. Whatever the mother needs, you provide. And make sure, find time, sing for the child, caress the child, touch the tummy, play with the child do everything to show that you are excited about the child that is going to be born. Develop that emotional attachment to the baby before he's even born. I mean, it's a sign that you accept responsibility for that child. Bond with the child in the womb. It's a form of acceptance, and that is an emotional support you give to that child. I mean, how often do you even hug your children? I find hugging a basic and an important emotional support for anybody. And of course, people who know me as a pastor and even as a lecturer, everything, I mean, they know that one thing I will give you is a hug. I remember hugging one young man like that, and he broke down in tears. And I was surprised. And I later asked him why he cried. And he said that was the first time an adult father figure had hugged him. And I nearly cried with him. Because it doesn't cost anything to hug your child. I mean, just holding the child and saying and patting the child on the shoulder, it doesn't cost you anything. But believe you me, it has great impact on that child. It suggests acceptance, you know, it suggests appreciation. Look, all we do, even when you step on a child's toe while you are passing, you, instead of saying sorry to the child, you blame the child. Hey, why did you also put your leg there? Hey, you cry, what are you doing here? Come on, clear off. Is that child a thing to be disposed of like that? Is that not your own child, your own seed that has become a human being? So why do you treat that child that way? Why can't you bring the child closer? Even if you can't have at least a pat on the shoulder, just rub the child's back once in a while, and then the child is happy. We have homes where the Dadarbo syndrome prevails. Dadarbo, I mean, it's like the children live in fear. When daddy is coming, when they hear daddy is at the gate, every child behaves, and they all run. They do whatever. I mean, that is not raising children. Now, if you had eyes to see, you'll be surprised at what your children do in your absence when you are not there, especially when they start imitating you. And then they start imitating the father. And you know, they do this in the presence of the mothers, and the mothers know, and they laugh. That shouldn't be your story. Your children should love to be close to you. Give them that emotional support. Be available for them. Be available. On their big days, be there. These days, even the nursery school, they organize graduation. Be there. Be there. I remember one of the days, my little boy on their graduation had to go and recite a poem. I think a scripture verse. And we had, coached him on what to say, how to say it, and all that. And that day, incidentally, I was the speaker for that graduation. And so I had to sit on the podium, on the platform. And then he came, stood there. He was given a microphone. Immediately he stood there. He turned and saw me seated. He knew I was seated there. And I just gave him a thumbs up. And he responded with a thumbs up and then went straight to recite the memory verse. He received the applause. But believe me, it was that little support of giving him the thumbs up when he saw me up there. I could have been in the audience and could have still given him the thumbs up, and he would still have caught it and performed. It doesn't take anything away from us. It doesn't cost anything to give your child emotional support. Well, some fathers have taken this very far and have taken very costly decisions, all because they want to support their children emotionally. I remember during the 2010 FIFA World Cup finals in South Africa, there was one man from Mexico. He was a coach. He was a coach of one of the biggest clubs in Mexico, the Chivas or the Chivas. This coach, Javier Hernandez, had a son who was playing in the national team. So he asked his team, the team he was coaching, some permission to be away for about 3 weeks so that he could watch his son play and give him that emotional support while he played. He had to argue with the people. They said, no, we need you here. We can't let you go. We can't let you go, and so on. And guess what? The coach decided. I wish I could read the quote. That coach decided that he would have to choose between the team he was coaching. He would have to choose between his career and the support of his son. And guess what his decision was? He decided now to quit. He resigned. And this is what he said. He said, I had to think about it for 2 days with my family and kids and made the decision to quit because I want to go to the World Cup and see my kid play. And he said, work is secondary. So that coach quit a good paying job just to be there for his son playing in the World Cup. Of course, for that World Cup season, I think Mexico did not go beyond the first stage, but the father was there. And what a joy it would be for that son playing in the field to turn and see his father in the spectator stands waving at him and making sure that he supports him. I mean, that was a big sacrifice the man made, but believe me, that son, of course, the son was also called Hernandez, who was playing for the Mexican national team. That son would never forget that sacrifice. Never. I have a friend in Canada who needed to come to Ghana for an important family event. He had bought his ticket and everything was ready for him to come down. Then, later on, he realized that the son's school had fixed a date for his graduation which coincided with the trip he needed to make to Ghana. And guess what? He tried, and eventually the airline wouldn't give him a new date. So he had to discard that ticket, buy a new ticket, so that he would stay for the son's graduation and come afterwards. That was a big sacrifice he made. It cost him. But believe you me, the son will never forget that my dad did this just to watch me graduate. One will say, oh, but the graduation is just a ceremony. Yes, that is to you. But for the one graduating, you know it is their big deal. It is their big deal, self-actualization. And on that day, he looks into the crowd and the father is there. The mother is there. They send him flowers. They take pictures with him. The father takes, his academic gown or his hat and wears it and takes a picture. I mean, it's beautiful. You have no idea what you do to that child. Emotional support. Emotional support. Children should not be denied this beautiful opportunity. So, fathers, yes, you are providing the essential needs, the food, the clothing, the shelter, the medication, education, entertainment. You are providing all that. But make sure you also provide the emotional need. Let the child feel accepted. Let the child feel appreciated. Be there, be available for the child. Make sure you attend their our day, or if that is open day, when parents go to look at the books and get to know your child's teacher. Be there. For PTA, be there. Now you go to PTA and it's all mothers. It's another women's club with very few men who later become executives. But you can join the few men. You can decide to turn things around and tell yourself, this time around, I will be at my child's PTA, and it doesn't cost anything. Be there for your children. Hug them. Sit down, talk with them. Even if it is for 10 minutes or 5 minutes at a time, build it up from there. Don't wait till your child is 15, 16, and then he has already built his own pattern for living. That is when you now want to control the child. Hey, you don't do this. No. At that time, the bonding is not there. And so the child might not even listen to you. You don't matter to the child. But if you learn to bond with the child from infancy, you are there for the child. The child sees you and he is happy. The child sees you and will not run away from you. The child sees you and, hey, daddy! And they run towards you and so on. Then you are providing their emotional needs. They need to be happy. They need to smile. They need to laugh. The children need to dance and dance with their daddy, dance around them. Sometimes, when we get to playing with your child, we will look at all this. When sometimes you may even need to bend down, and if the child is a toddler, he can sit at your back and you become a horse, and then you ride him around and so on. Children love that, and when it is coming from their father, it is so meaningful. If you get a football, play with your child for just 10 minutes. And in this 10 minutes, let your child score you. You can dribble the child, but let him score you. Let him score one, and then you will see the Ronaldo in that child. Yeah, I won. Very happy. You are bonding with the child. The next time the child is wrong, You can sit the child down and speak to him, and he will listen. When the child grows and needs to make decisions, he will consult you before making certain vital decisions. That is being a father. That is providing for your child the emotional support. Assist them in what they do. Be close to them. This idea of being absent, and I have to work, that's why I need to be away to provide for you and all that. Listen, what will it profit you if you get the whole world and you can provide everything, and then your child doesn't even know you, the child doesn't bond with you, or the child ignores you, or the child becomes a vagabond because the father is not there for him. He has to take solace with other children, or with some rascals. Somebody, I remember some time ago, there was this advert. I'm not too sure what the advert was even projecting, but there was this child going supposedly to the library, and there was this wee man lurking around and say, "Hey, akwala wo kwa he?" And he said, "I'm going to the library." Hey, and so on. Listen, if you have not bonded with your child and have not built the solid relationship where your child can count on your counsel and your support, that child will yield to the man lurking in the corner and luring your child. Before you realize, your child is putting up some behavior that you yourself have no idea of. So support your child emotionally. Then number 3, one of the things you can also provide, of course, number 1 is the essential needs. Number 2 is the emotional support that you provide a child. And number 3 is the exemplary leadership. Exemplary leadership. Now, children always look up to their fathers for leadership. They copy, and one British author and journalist, and he's also a poet, Thomas Crosland, he wrote this. He said, "In my years of searching the scriptures and observing the lives of men, I have concluded that the very best sermons are those that I preached by those who sermonize by example rather than by oratory words," unquote. In my years of searching the scriptures and observing the lives of men, I have concluded that the very best sermons are the ones that are preached by those who sermonize by example rather than by oratory words, unquote. Children look up to you. The best sermon for your child is your life, the example you live for them. In 2010, the then President Obama, that is the former president of the United States, said something. He wrote something on, in his Father's Day declaration. He said, "Fathers are our first teachers and coaches, mentors and role models." He said, and I quote, "Fathers are our first teachers and coaches, mentors and role models. They push us to succeed, encourage us when we are struggling, and offer unconditional care and support," unquote. That is a father. That is a father. You lead the children by example. By example. Children look at you and learn from you. They learn how to relate to people from you. They even learn how to relate to women from you. If you relate well to the mother, that child learns. If you, the rapport that exists between you and the child's mother is so important. If that is a girl child, the girl learns from you. The boy child learns from you. And I keep telling parents, especially fathers, that your girl, as far as your girl child is concerned, you are her first lover. You teach her what is love. You don't allow some other man to teach her love, because the other man's love is a confused form of thing, evil. Genuine love is what you show to your daughter, and then she will learn the difference. When was the first time or the last time you told your daughter that she's beautiful or that she's looking gorgeous? Now, if you've never said that, I wanted to say shame on you, but I won't. If you have never said that, remember, somebody will say that to your daughter, and when that happens, what will follow may not be pleasant. But if you keep telling your daughter that, and the daughter knows from you that she is beautiful, when some foolish man sees your daughter and says, "Hey girl, you are beautiful," your girl will respond, "Oh yeah, I know. My father tells me every time." So it's like, what you are saying is not new to me, and this is not the reason why I should be sold out to you just because you are telling me beautiful and that I'm beautiful. My father tells me. Be a role model for your children. Be their ideal husband, their ideal man. Let your daughters see how you relate to their mother and long to have a husband who would treat her like that. Set the standard. And if it's your boy child, let him know how to handle and how to relate to a woman, how to respect a woman, and so on. We can change this whole family feud business by setting good examples for the next generation. Consciously or unconsciously, boys grow up to be like their fathers. And you see, you are their hero. Maybe you've not been told. Maybe they've not told you. You are their hero. They look up to you. I remember those days when I was studying in Kenya, there was a popular advert on the television. And I have forgotten what the advert was all about. But one thing that stood out was this. Of course, there were a group of children who were dressed with the various career uniforms. So somebody comes up and, "When I grow up, I want to be a doctor. When I grow up, I want to be a pastor. When I grow up, I want to be a nurse. When I grow up, I want to be a pilot," and so on. And there was this boy who was wearing an oversized coat, apparently his father's coat, wearing a big tie. He came in holding a bag and stood confidently and said, "When I grow up, I want to be like my dad." And for me, that was excellent. Now, your child should be able, your child may not even know your career or what you do. And your child doesn't have to do what you are doing in their future. But the child should be able to say, "When I grow up, I want to be like my dad." Beautiful role model. So the next time you sit in car with your children, be careful what you say to the driver who crosses you, because their hero is now seen insulting another driver. If you ask your child to lie and tell somebody that you are not in, you know what you are teaching that child? You are teaching that child that when in crisis, you can lie your way out. And when the child starts lying, oh, my father is not in, my father is not in. The next time you are not in, the next time you are in and somebody comes, oh, my father is not in. Oh, even this morning, he had to go somewhere. This is not what you told him. But the child would have mastered the lies and would now add to the lies you have told him. Very dangerous. Very dangerous. And for those of you who send your children to buy hard liquor for you, you are teaching them to follow your footsteps. You get drunk, you throw up on yourself, you misbehave, and your children are watching. It's dangerous. Be an example to your children. You are giving them an exemplary leadership. An exemplary leadership. President George W. Bush, who was the president before Obama, also proclaimed, and I quote, "Fathers play a unique and irreplaceable part in the lives of their children and pass along values that help children grow into responsible adults. By providing their sons and daughters with a positive example, fathers help give their children the necessary foundation they need to make wise decisions throughout their lives. Fathers strive to inspire their children to lead lives of integrity, honor, and purpose, and they pray for the wisdom and the strength to give their children the love and support they need to achieve their dreams." Unquote. He says, by providing their sons and daughters with positive examples, fathers help give their children the necessary foundation they need to make wise decisions throughout their lives. Now, I quoted Obama earlier. These two American presidents, though they represent, different political and ideological traditions. Obama obviously is a Democrat, and George Bush a Republican, but they are right, incontrovertibly right on this issue of fatherhood. They both had it spot on. A child intuitively believes that his father knows the way, his father goes the way, and his father shows the way. So as a father, your child knows that you know the way, you go the way, and you show the way. And he copies everything you do. There are some natural traits, the way they walk. Of course, when they look so much like you, they even walk like you. And this is something they just inherit. But you realize that there are things they learn. They learn from you. That is why children become frustrated when their hero becomes a villain. And you break their hearts. And I've always said, that one of the best gifts you can give your children is to love their mother. When a child knows that the father appreciates their mother, not talk, well, that's your wife, but that's not where my emphasis is. My emphasis is on their mother. How you relate to her is a big encouragement to them. You don't want to go to work, and so as a father, you feign sickness, and then you call your boss, today I'm not too well. But your son sees you, you are well, you are eating fufu at home, you just don't want to go to work. He learns. He learns. If you help a child to cheat in the homework, and for those parents who buy exam papers for their children, oh, you've taught them a very bad precedent. Hey, and the child knows that my father paid for it and bought it for me. That's it. You would have influenced his future for good. Your children see you as their role model. So be one for them. Be there for them. Provide the essential needs of these children. That is the food, the shelter, the clothing, the education, the medication, and the entertainment. Provide emotional support. Let the children know that they mean so much to you. Hug them. Pat them on the shoulder. Congratulate them. Be there for them on their special programs. On their birthdays, be there. On their graduation, be there. Don't just leave this for the mothers. And when they grow up and you are celebrating Mother's Day, you also stand up and say, you should celebrate me too on Father's Day. You lost it. But be there. Show up. Let your children know the sacrifices you are making just to be there for them. And they will rise up to salute you. Beloved, I pray for you as a father that the ability to provide these things, the emotional support, the exemplary leadership, the ability to do all this will come from the Lord, who is working on you as his project. May the Lord bless us as fathers. You know what? Next week we will look at another area of responsibility for fathers. And if you want to contact me, talk to me on anything, even if you want to invite me to come and speak to your men's ministry and what have you, I will leave a number with you. Write this number down: 0553 743 753. 0553 743 753. Until I come your way again next week with another insightful discussion on fatherhood, I'm signing off. My technical help has been Emmanuel Kante, and the station is Z101.9 FM, your lifestyle, leisure, and business platform. The program has been Fathers and Family. My name is Pastor Gate. As we say in Swahili, Barikiwe. Be blessed.
He sees